What's up, everybody? Chris Ballard here, Ballard Sports Media. Hold on just one second. Sorry about that. I heard something. I was trying to figure out what the heck was happening. So, what's up? We're talking college football and basketball. Feel free to join in, join the conversation. Kind of gonna do what TJ LSU dad does. He's one of my favorite YouTubers. He doesn't really. I mean, I guess he kind of sends a shout out. He kind of checks the chat and stuff, but he just kind of talks about it. So it's bowl season. Alabama, great win, 35-16. They were ranked 13 in the Citrus Bowl. They beat Michigan, number 14. They win by, I guess, what's that math? 19 points. A really great win. We still got a couple bowl games going on right now. 11:35 in the second quarter. Tennessee up 3-0 over Indiana. That's on ESPN right now. That's the Gator Bowl, and so we got quite a bit going on. Kind of want to talk some basketball because I've done a lot of football stuff lately. I haven't really gotten into any other sports. But getting into this new year, it's the second day of 2020. Just kind of want to talk about the channel a little bit going forward. Baseball season coming up. I kind of want to react to baseball games. I really don't know because they go by so quick, right? Like if I'm on, well, they do take commercial breaks and stuff, and a lot happens. So I guess they kind of air for maybe like 2 hours or so, including commercials. But I'm a Rays fan. They have yet to put out the 2020 schedule for MLB. No, they put it out, but I guess for the teams they haven't updated it. Like if you go on the ESPN app, they haven't exactly updated the team schedules. But if you go on the ESPN app and you click MLB, they've updated it. So yeah, a lot of great bowl games that went down, especially on New Year's Day. We'll take a quick look at this. We had, let me find it. So we had about 4 bowl games yesterday, probably more than that, but it's showing 4 right here. Michigan, Alabama in the Citrus Bowl, the Outback Bowl, Minnesota and Auburn, Oregon and Wisconsin in the Rose Bowl, and Georgia and Baylor in the All-State Sugar Bowl. Georgia beat Baylor 26-14. 28-27 was the final score of the Rose Bowl. Alabama wins 35-16 in the Citrus Bowl, and Minnesota beats Auburn 31-24 in the Outback Bowl. So some great games that went down yesterday. I think the most entertaining one. Did anyone see this Rose Bowl? Oh my goodness, this was awesome. Listen, I remember. You remember the semifinal that Georgia had to win to get to the title, to get to Atlanta to play Alabama? Or it would have been Alabama or Clemson, because I think the Sugar Bowl that the Tigers and the Tide played in, that was the later game. But so the double overtime against Oklahoma was really good. But man, this was wow. This was a really great game. In the final, I mean, it was like a little over, looks like 2 minutes. Wisconsin punted the ball. They were down by a point. They basically gave up or whatever by punting that away instead of just going for it. You know, And even though it was 4th and 20, I mean, still, wouldn't you try like a Hail Mary or something? I probably would have. You got to at least give it a shot. But they tried to pin him back deep. They could not get off the field on 3rd down and all that. They didn't really have any timeouts. Um, they kind of use them like Alabama does, which I don't get this. Why did college coaches do this? I know it's not the NFL. I know that it is not, there's not 2-minute warnings. It's, you know, I mean, you just go with it, right? If you want to take a timeout, you take a timeout. There is no 2-minute warning, so you got to use them carefully. But man, they use it so early to the point where, like, you should save them for 3rd downs, right? And 4th down. Don't do this where they have enough time to kill the clock and all that and run it out. So, I mean, it's ridiculous. But a great Rose Bowl game, 28-27 the final score, Oregon finishing the season 12-2, Wisconsin finishing 10-4. Be interesting. It's always interesting to see these bowl game matchups. These kind of give you a little outlook going into next season of what these teams could look like. And, going forward, seeing where they could possibly end up in the rankings. So, 26-14, the final score of the Sugar Bowl. Georgia had a great performance. That wasn't as entertaining as the Rose Bowl, but it was still a good game. You can say Baylor's overrated all you want to. I thought they played really good this year. They, I think they almost beat Oklahoma twice. Of course, there was the Big 12 championship game. That was in overtime. And then like a 2-score game in the regular season earlier in the year, back, I think, early December, or really November, because early December is when the conference championships are. So yeah, the football season's pretty much over, right? I mean, what do we have left? It's the 2nd of January. I guess we pretty much just have the championship coming up. I might live stream that game and react to it. In other news, I mean, Dylan Moses, this broke today or yesterday. Dylan Moses, who was out this season, I think he's like a 5-star linebacker. I think he's 5-star. But he's a really great talent, great player. We lost him this year due to an early season injury. I think with I don't know if he hurt his leg or whatever, but he made the decision to come back and be, with the team next year. So that might help us out a lot on defense. I think that might have been one of the reasons why our defense struggled this year. I know it's crazy to say because, it's just one player, and getting well, it's the coaching. Well, Dylan Moses is just one of those players that he's going to he's just that good of a player that you lose him, you almost lose your defense. Not to say that it's all him, but I mean it might as well be, man. He's so fast, he's electric, he can get pressure on the quarterback. He would go very high in the draft, probably not this year, but since he's planning on returning next year, you know, if as long as he stays healthy, I think he'll be a top pick in 2021. So there's that. And let me see something real quick. Let's see. So, I mean, there's really not a whole lot of news. Basketball season has been pretty good. Alabama, they're 7-5 right now. Their next game is in 2 days. They play Florida. That is that I guess that's at Florida. I would assume that's in Gainesville. Um, so basketball season is always exciting. It's fun to watch. I'm not sure how they figure out the tournaments though. Is that based with like the Sweet 16? Is that like the? I guess that's probably the top 16 teams in the country, but we got quite a few teams. Gonzaga, always dominant, been dominant the past few years, and Duke. I mean, listen, we like to hear and talk trash about the ACC. Oh, they suck at football and it's a bad conference. They're actually really good in basketball. So just because they're not good at football doesn't mean that overall it's a bad conference. It just means at football it's not so great. But um, you know, so and so Auburn, who was I almost said they were the runner-up. Texas Tech was the runner-up. Virginia won the championship. The defending champs down at 19. Texas Tech, the runner-up at 22. Um, so I'm looking forward to seeing, just how the rest of the football season shakes out. And basketball, there's still a lot of basketball left, not a whole lot of football left. Um, Baseball's coming up in March or April. Alabama basketball, I cannot think of the last time we were relevant. But I feel like Nate Oates is a great hire. Avery Johnson was a good hire as far as a recruiting standpoint because we got talented players. He just can't coach, right? He, I mean, he's like who do I want to pick and think of? I don't know. Pick a coach that can recruit but can't coach. He's like that. But Nate Oates, I feel, is doing better than Avery Johnson did, and so let's see here. Trying to find some other stuff. Mention I'm a Rays fan. I started pulling for them this past season. I tried to get into baseball and all that, which I guess I've always liked baseball. I played it when I was younger, at least twice. I played t-ball and then little league. You call it little league? I don't know. We were somewhat teenagers, but we were pre-teens, if anything. But so they've already released the MLB schedule. It's going to start in about a month or so, February 22nd. And I kind of want to react to baseball games too, but, well, I don't know. I mean, it's something to think about. I mean, like I said, we're only 2 days into the new year. I'm starting to try to think about what I want to do with my sports channel. I've only been on for about a month or so, not even, maybe 3 weeks or so. I don't know. But, going into this new year and all that, I want to try to, do something with this. And I want to react to games and, cover. I don't know if I want to necessarily cover one team. Obviously, if anything like Alabama happens, I might say something about it because I'm an Alabama fan. But I try to be fair with this. I try to, and that's what you have to do as a sportscaster. You got to be fair. Yes, there's such thing as bias, but if you you can joke around a little, but again, be fair. That's what's important. You want to have a joke or whatever, fine. Uh, but yeah. So as far as baseball goes, uh, I might react to baseball games or baseball news or whatever. What I might try to do is, throughout the week or so. Obviously, I'm still in high school, and I'm homeschooled, which kind of works out. I get to, work at my own pace and all, but um, you know, there's that. But at the same time, maybe in like the evenings or whatever, a couple times a week, we'll talk sports and you know stuff like that. So let's see. So uh, basketball season. There's still a lot of that left. Not a whole lot of college football. Baseball season hasn't even started yet. So I guess these next few weeks, I'm pretty much watching some basketball. What I didn't like though is when Alabama's schedule was released, I was like, "You got to be kidding me!" Not because of who they play, right? I could care less for who we play. As far as basketball, I mean, there's not really a committee, uh, but I don't think there's a committee. I mean, they don't have like a selection day and all that. I guess you just got to win, right? But I looked at the schedule, right? And I'm like, you know, like you don't play SEC until late in the year. And looking at this, it looks like this is a little weird. This is like NFL style stuff because they play LSU twice, Auburn twice, A&M. I guess you play everyone in your division twice. I don't even know if there are divisions in college basketball. I guess just standings in conference, but you know, it is what it is. I'm still trying to learn how not necessarily how basketball works, but just like from a college perspective, how all that is and um, all that. So, but I'll get there. So anyway, but Alabama is 7-5 right now, and I'm just now seeing this. How is let's see. It says we're the first in SEC right now. That can't be right. That it as TJ LSU dad says, somebody lied. Because I'm looking at this right now. We're just above the Aggies. They're at the bottom. Don't tell me we're the first in the SEC. Don't tell me that. Auburn is. And they'll probably make the tournament this year. Bruce Pearl has recruited well. He's got great talent. Don't tell me Alabama and Nate Oates and Oates' first year is going to make the tournament and they're first in the. See now it's saying that Auburn 12-0 is first in the SEC. So something is wrong with ESPN. Someone's lying. I want to know who. I demand they fix this because they got great talent, man. And I feel like it starts for Alabama. I think what it starts with is Alabama needs to recruit and they need to win a recruiting battle with Auburn. They do that and they're off to a good start, right? Avery Johnson, the coach before Nate Oates, who's now the head coach for Alabama, great recruiter, right? He didn't beat Auburn in recruiting, right? Not really. I think maybe a couple years, but it's a battle in the state of Alabama, and it's just like it is in football. You're trying to get these recruits. They either want to go play for Auburn or Alabama. Some guys in Alabama for football. Excuse me. For football and basketball, want to go out of state, right? Or they want to play for a smaller school in Alabama. They want to go to someone like Alabama A&M, Alabama State for some reason. So I don't know, but anyway. So I mean, there's a couple bowl games left in football. There's a lot of basketball left. MLB hasn't started yet, but I'm looking forward to all of it, and definitely going to. I'll do a prediction video like I did for the semifinals. I'll do one for LSU and Clemson, and as we get a little closer to that, we still have, I guess, about what 10, 11 days until the championship. Why it's on the 13th instead of the 6th? I don't know. It was on the 7th last year, not the 14th. I guess because of how the calendar fell this year, with rivalry weekend being the last day in November because of Thanksgiving and all that. I guess that kind of plays a role into um, not really where they put the semis. They kind of put it where they put them last year, as they were on the 29th. They were on the 28th this year. So with that, you know, it is what it is. So I really don't care when it is, but I'm looking forward to that game, and it's going to be great. I was really looking forward to maybe seeing Ohio State and LSU, but hey, this could be better than that, right? Like they're going to simulate. This is what they should do, right? They should simulate Ohio State and LSU, sit back and watch LSU and Clemson, and then decide, hey, yeah, this was better, this or this was worse. What are we doing? Uh, so anyway, so not a whole lot to talk about, but um, you know, so for Alabama, Dylan Moses is probably going to return for 2020 as he sat out this year due to a season-ending injury. Which he should come back. As good of a player as he is, and he played really well last year and all that. You can never be too careful. I think he should come back. And as for Tua, I mean, Dylan Moses isn't really well known like Tua is, and that's not a knock on him. He's a really great player, obviously. But you know, I mean, it's Tua, right? Like he doesn't need to come back. He could. He'd probably be risking, injury and quite a bit of money in the NFL. Not saying he will get injured, but let's be honest. I mean, as great of a player as he is, he's probably not the most healthiest player. Not in terms of how he's built or anything. It's just, I mean, they always go for the ankle. These defenders, it's like they want him hurt. Obviously, they want him on the sidelines. Like, hey, we don't want this guy out here torching our defense. We got to get him out of here. But do you have to hurt him? Come on. Be fair. But anyway, so we got the wild card rounds coming up in the NFL. Those are set. We got division set, which I don't know what it is with these wild cards. We got coming up on Saturday, Buffalo at Houston, Tennessee at New England. The Patriots, you mean to tell me they're not already clinching the division round? I think the most exciting matchup of all these is Seattle and Philadelphia, right? The Eagles are really great. All these teams are pretty good teams. Buffalo and Houston and Tennessee, the Titans and the Patriots. I mean, are the Titans really going to beat the Patriots? I don't know. I don't think so. Not saying they can't. Anything can happen in the NFL. Anything can really happen in, like, I mean, there's so much. Like, I feel like college football is the only sport there is right now where there's a point like not anything could happen, right? Like, yes, anything can happen. Any top 25 team and whatever in the FBS can make the playoffs, at least going into the season, right? You don't know what's going to happen, but it's one of those things like you look at a game and it's like no chance Chattanooga's going to beat this team, and they're not going to beat Florida, they're not going to beat Auburn, they're no chance. This team's way better than them. That's out of possibility. I mean, come on, this is cupcake stuff, you know. Like college football is the only sport, right? Basketball, I mean, a lot of points are scored by both teams every single game, right? It happens. I mean, that's like one of those sports. Anything can happen, right? So anyway, um, so I don't know. I'm lost. I probably said everything I've wanted to say, but just again, looking forward to next college football season. Sad that it's already over. I mean, it's already 2020. We're in an election year, and I'm not going to get political on here. I'll stop. As for some NBA scores right now, the Heat are down by one with 7:15 to go in the second quarter against the Raptors. And what the heck? It's weird. Warriors down by one in the first against the Timberwolves. We got Pistons and Clippers at 10:30. Not a whole lot of great games as far as like, because we know even without Kawhi, the Raptors are still really good, right? They're all right. The Clippers, the Warriors, we know with like Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, those guys ball out, they play well and all that. So, um, you know, so I'll be honest, I haven't really caught a lot of. I mean, I follow it, but I haven't really seen a whole lot of NBA games this year. Only a couple, because I don't know. I mean, football season, right? But as we're closing in on the end of the football season, obviously we got, as I've mentioned, in like March or April, we got baseball coming up. We, of course, got college basketball and NBA. So that's normally when I get into all that. Just because, you know, I mean, that's when I get into all that because I'm mainly a football fan, and that's my favorite sport. So you always try to follow your favorite sports, but obviously we all have that one sport that, like, hey, you only get to watch one sport. You only get to keep one sport. Which one are you taking? I'm taking football, man. Nothing against basketball or baseball, right? Like the football, basketball, and baseball. Basketball, baseball, you can tie them for second. I love baseball. I know it yeah, I mean, it's one of those sports that, like, anyone can win it, right? Yeah, you literally just hit the ball, right? But um, it's not the most entertaining sport, but it's not the least entertaining. Like, so I am looking forward though, and we got a few months, but I always look forward to the Olympics. I saw the Rio Olympics and the London Olympics. I think the 2012 one, that was like the first one I saw. they're supposed to have like karate or something this year. I shared a few years ago, I think. I could be wrong, but karate, man, fighting, that is awesome. Where are the Olympics this year? Tokyo. Okay. So this year is in Tokyo. Last time it was in Rio. They're going to have them in Paris in 4 years. So I always look forward to this. Um, they're going to have basketball. They're going to have baseball, boxing. Obviously, I mean, does anyone actually watch all of the Olympics? I mean, you'd have to be like the true sports fanatic. I see someone in the chat, Brandon Law. Is that how you say your name, sir? Law? I don't know. Can I ask you something? Yes. I'm from the UK. Why do Americans care so much about college sports? That's a good question. Um, I would say, I mean, you go to college and you like to cheer for the university. You know, you kind of represent it in the sense like, hey, that's where I went. I want to see them have much success, I guess. I mean, I feel like college sports brings, and I mean, it can tear people apart, you know, rivalries and stuff, but I feel like it can bring people together. That is a good question. There's not a specific answer to it, sir, but great question. So, but um, I've watched Rudy and liked that movie. I've heard about Rudy. I've never actually seen that movie, but I've heard of it. I've seen. I recently saw a movie called Remember the Titans, and then what was that other one called? I can't remember, but um, I recently saw Remember the Titans. That's a really good one, and uh, so, but I have to check that out. Is so Rudy, is that based on a true story? Pretty sure it is. I haven't seen it, but I know what you're talking about. So he wants to play for Notre Dame. Oh, okay. So is he basically offered a scholarship or anything, or does he just it's just like a dream he has to just play for Notre Dame? Obviously, like I just said, I'll have to check it out, but um, yeah, I know I've heard of it. I'm gonna see because I have Hulu and Netflix. I'll have to check that out and see if I can find it. Yeah, if I can find it, I'll add it and I'll watch it later. He works hard to achieve his dream of playing for Notre Dame. Yeah, so yeah, basically, I guess like every college athlete, they have a dream and they, you know, work so hard to get to where they want to be. So yeah, I'll definitely have to check that movie out. I'm not seeing it on here anywhere really. It'll pop up. So, can I ask you this? Do you have any favorite sports teams? So, yeah, Rudy. That Did he? Did Rudy play? What was it? Was he quarterback or was he like a defensive end? Sounds like the name of a defensive back or something. It sounds like a strong, tough guy or something. I don't know. So, yeah, but I love sports movies. I've seen quite a few football movies, but Rudy, I know that's a popular movie. Obviously, I've heard of it, but I've never seen it or no one. I've really just heard the title and that it's a football movie and that it's really good. So I don't know. So let's see. Anyway, it's about 8:30. I've been on here for a little over half an hour. Brandon, thanks for stopping in. I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream. I appreciate everyone who tuned in and watched, and guess I'm gonna have to check out Rudy. So, but anyway, um, that's pretty much it. Again, looking forward to the national championship. I plan on live streaming that game, reacting to it. I'm not sure if I want to do that yet, though. I know I just tried to react to the Orange Bowl the other day. What was that on Monday, I think? But I don't know. I did it too little, too late. If you're gonna react, you got to do the whole game or at least the whole half or something. I don't know. But anyway, we got a game on or so right now. Uh, do we have any next week? Because I know the championship is on the 13th. Do we have any games for next week? Yes, we have on Saturday, Southern Miss and Tulane, Lockheed Martin Armed Forces Bowl. That's Saturday at 11:30. I don't know if anyone's gonna watch that, but the Lending Tree Bowl on the 6th, and then a week later, the national championship, LSU and Clemson. I'll do a preview video for that, breaking down the stats, give my score prediction, and all that. Kind of like what I did with the Fiesta and Orange Bowl, or the Fiesta and Peach Bowl. I'm sorry. I gave my score prediction on those, broke it down a little bit, the keys to win, all that. So here within the next week or so, as we get a little closer to it, obviously I won't try to do it last minute, but you know. So anyway, Brandon, thanks for tuning into the stream. Thanks for letting me know about that Rudy movie. I'll check it out. And thanks for everyone else who at least watched. Really appreciate it. If you're new, subscribe. And if you enjoyed this, hit the like, comment down below. Any questions or whatever, I guess, sports related. And again, looking forward to the national championship coming up, and some great bowl games yesterday, and the semifinals, of course, were really awesome as well. So we've had a lot of great football, great season so far. And even coming from an Alabama fan, it didn't go the way that Alabama wanted it to, but the four best teams got in that deserve to get in. It is what it is. Alabama's just got to work harder in the off season. clearly need help on defense, which they actually looked good yesterday. I'll give them that. But anyway, thanks for stopping in. Appreciate it. This is Ballard Sports Media. Checking out.